Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. It is a bank holiday, so most of you are probably sunning yourselves on some Welsh beach in the rain as we speak. If you're not and you're here in person, welcome back. This is Crypto Warehouse. We try and stream every day at 11 a.m. Monday to Friday. We do have a special stream on Wednesday. It is Mew Night on Wednesday, where we go through everything that is Mew, and we're going to give away Mew on the night and maybe something else along the way. Who knows? But it's a bank holiday. That doesn't mean that there isn't a raft of news to go through from the weekend, including the whale, James. James the whale has been tweeting an awful lot. He's been longing and shorting Bitcoin with $1 billion. He's made a few quid here and there. He said he was going to pack it in, and now I think he's just longed Bitcoin today. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We are going to go through the charts today. It is a Monday. Monday, we talk about all things charty. We're going to go through the DXY. We're going to go through Bitcoin dominance, total 3. We're also going to talk today about Adam Back. We're going to talk about Solana accumulation, which I've been telling you for weeks is about to start. We're going to talk about Ripple USD on Cardano. We're going to talk about property, real world assets. We're going to talk about Axiom Mania. And then we're going to talk about the Coin Republic. Oh, the Trump coin, yes. So we've got a lot to talk about. And of course, the X-Files. But before we do, a few good mornings, Stu. I've got to sort out this camera angle. I've got a new desk and the camera angle is now showing me. If I do that, with that, you are going to see the screen behind me showing my face because it's on the TV behind me. So I need to sort that out. But anyway, forget that. Good morning to KB, Hidden Agendas, Simon, Velvet Rope. And that's it in chat, Hidden Agendas. Where is everybody? If you are here, say hello. There are 47 in chat and we literally get the same 5 people, 10 people talk every week. So if you are here, smash the like button, give us a follow. If you're watching on Binance, I do not read Binance chat anymore because it is full of bots. If you want to ask us a question, come over to YouTube, Crypto Warehouse on YouTube, and we will try our best to answer your questions. And now, let's get on with some X-Files and see what we can see today. Because there's a few important tweets, there's a few funny tweets knocking around, the usual kind of tweets. I don't have any particular videos today to show you, funny videos. We're not going to do that on a Monday. Now that should bring up, why does it never work? Why does it never work for me? Give me 1 minute. My window capture. There we go. Dean Crypto Trades. This is one of the things that I look at over the weekend. The CME gap, there isn't one. So besides Hyperliquid Whale, which is James that I've been telling you about, slinging billions in volume and causing most of the moves we've seen, not much has happened. The markets are closed today. The UK and American markets are closed. It's a bank holiday today. So expect low volumes. Actually, we've not looked at the prices, have we? Let's do the prices first. And then we'll get on with the X-Files. So the volume is 105 billion, which is not that high at this moment in time. It's probably not going to go above, 130, 140 today. It's a bank holiday. I don't know what people expect. Bitcoin coming in. It was in the doldrums. I think it came down to 107,000. I haven't bothered changing my title of the show. I've kept it as 111 meh because 111 is meh. It's not really a target that I want us to go to. I want us to go not much higher right now, but I think we could do with going a little bit higher than where we've got to. I think 111 needs to break this week, in all honesty. Ethereum is having not a bad time of it. Nearly $2,600. XRP still below 250. Solana is doing well. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Cardano is hanging around the 80-cent mark. Again, I think we're going to be looking at the next leg up, leading to maybe a $1 Cardano, $1.05, Certainly, we should be looking at 190 to 200 for Solana. XRP heading 270, 280. But again, we're in one of those funny weeks where we're expecting interest rates to come down. The market is pricing in interest rate cuts. Chairman Powell has said that the tariffs are not having as big an impact on prices as expected. But on the other hand, if you look at Truflation, you will see that inflation is going up. It jumped 0.4%. So we're getting conflicting reports. We've got on one hand, Chairman Powell spending months telling us inflation is higher than it was. And now inflation is starting to go back up. We've got Chairman Powell saying it's actually not going up as much as people worry about. So we're looking at 3 rate cuts. So again, it's conflicting. And I think the markets are pricing in a rate cut. And if we don't get that rate cut, I think we could break below 100,000. The macro is in control at the minute. That's the key. And I don't know how we get away from that at the minute because everything is dominated by Trump. We had the tariffs imposed on the EU. That's now been delayed till the 9th of July. So everything is now flip-flopping around and Trump is playing his game and everybody is playing the game with him. So Trump's in charge. The bears aren't in charge. The bulls aren't in charge. China, Europe, nobody else is in charge. Donald Trump has got the world on tenterhooks and crypto is obviously part of that. So we're struggling a bit. And, you know, the markets, the RSI, the DXY we're going to look at, Bitcoin dominance we're going to look at. Not much has changed since last week, but the sentiment is still fairly bearish considering we're at $110,000. And that's because, as I said to you on Friday, the reason I think most of you are not feeling it is because you are outside of Bitcoin. Now, I checked after the stream on Friday to get you an idea of where I was. So it's easy for me to sit here and say, you're all in alts, you're not feeling it. I am 62% Bitcoin. I don't think I was 62% Bitcoin 6 months ago or 12 months ago. I think I was a lot lower, maybe 50% Bitcoin. But because Bitcoin has outperformed everything, my share is now almost 2/3 Bitcoin. So I am feeling this a lot more than maybe most. But if you're Bitcoin heavy, you should be happy. You've outperformed everybody pretty much for the last 2 years, which we'll look at in a minute. So I think a lot of the bearish sentiment is the fact that we don't have a $3,500 Ethereum, we don't have a $3 XRP, we don't have a $1.50 Cardano, we certainly don't have a $250 Solana. And because of that, and because those prices, we've kind of got near them at the start of this year, I think the sentiment is just low because the alts haven't run. And the alts are not going to run until Bitcoin has finished. Good morning, Solo Sky. Good morning. I think I saw Charles. I hope you are doing well. So gainers then. Jupiter is up over 60 cents. They put out their report. Now, for those of you that are in Jupiter, I know a lot of you are. I've been talking about it for about 2 years, ever since it launched. Jupiter is now sending Jupe to the trash can. So they're not burning it. They're sending it to a wallet where they're not going to tap into it for the treasury or whatever you want to call it. And the amount that they've put in there is staggering. They are taking a lot of Jupe off the market. And I expected it to have more of a price impact than it's had. But I think we need to wait for it to actually just suck the market dry of Jupe. And of course, the lower the price, the more that gets sucked out because it's based on their trading fees. Should Jupiter be at 61 cents? No, it's up 30%, but it shouldn't be anywhere near 60 cents. It's $1.50. So even though Bitcoin's at all-time highs, these alts we're looking at are way below where they should be. Virtuals is only $2.20 and it's had a really good 7 days. Uniswap is low at $6. ASI, which is on a bit of a tear, if you think about it, it was 40 odd cents. It's now 90. So that's done an incredible pump, 130% pump. It's still nowhere near where it should be. All of these alts down here, Radium was $5 not long ago. it's $3.33. So the recency bias, which I talk about all the time, is in this instance, it's not a bad idea to look at some of these alts. Jupiter, certainly. ASI, certainly. Radium, certainly. What else is on here that's done really well? There's not many of these coins I would actually. Radium, Hyperliquid, I think is overextended. I mean, we were talking about Hyperliquid at $20. One of the NFT projects I'm in is a VC project, and they've put a lot of money into Hype, and they've made a fortune out of it for us. So I'm happy with that. Uniswap, I would say Jupiter Virtuals, Uniswap, ASI, and Hyperliquid and Radium, I'd say they were the coins out of that I would certainly be looking at to add to. They're way below where they were. You know, it's a good day when gold and very little else is dumping. You're seeing stable coins at the bottom. So we're not going to talk about that too much more. Let's move on. We've got a lot to get through. So I think we just get on with it. Oh, there is a poll question today. And the poll question is very simple. Which version do you like? Do you like bearish Mike or do you like bullish Mike? Which version of Mike do you like? Now, there's only been 8 votes out of 50 people. 8 people have voted. And we are 50-50. 50-50. Can't win them all, can you? So the EU-US trade deal has been moved to July the 9th. That is basically to give them time to sort out the deal. And again, talking to the bears in chat, the likes of KK and a few others that are always calling the downside for Bitcoin. We are not in the market. We are not in the stage of the market where Bitcoin is going to trend down for a prolonged period of time. Might trend sideways, it's not going to go down. These trade deals, the impact is going to be less and less on the market. The same way that the Musk effect had less and less impact on the market. And this, by the way, I only buy Bitcoin with money I can't afford to lose. This was Michael Saylor yesterday. Michael Saylor is going to announce that he's bought more Bitcoin today. Again, that's over time going to have less and less impact on the price of Bitcoin. It matters when the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges starts to go to critical levels, but I think it's going to have less and less effect. It's becoming a weekly event now. And I think Saylor just needs to be careful. I think he's going to lose impact. Now, Pakistan's finance ministry has announced it will allocate 2,000 megawatts. By the way, I have no idea how much that is, of surplus power to support Bitcoin mining. The government has introduced tax incentives to attract foreign firms. What I've been saying ever since the beginning is these people saying that Bitcoin is going to destroy the planet, including Elon Musk, by the way. I've said all along that excess electricity, rather than going to waste, should be used on mining Bitcoin. So if your country only uses 85% of its capacity and that energy can't be stored and it's going to waste or whatever, then use it to mine Bitcoin. If you look at the flaring on the oil rigs and gas refineries, you can attach Bitcoin mining equipment and energy harvesting to that. And you can convert that negative into a positive, which is Bitcoin. If you look at one of the African countries, and I can't remember which one it is now, 15% of its electricity supply is paid for with Bitcoin. There are villages in Africa where the electricity is free because the Bitcoin miners generate enough income to pay to keep the lights on, basically. So this is a good thing. Excess or surplus power, it's a good thing. All countries should be doing this, in my opinion, because why not utilize 100% of your energy that you have? Of course you should. Now, remember one thing as well. These X-Files, they're in no order. They're just interesting snippets that are trending on X. They're not in any particular order whatsoever. Now then, we've talked a lot about Metaplanet. We've talked a lot about strategy. We've talked a lot about HODL 15 producing the top 50, top 75, now top 80 list of companies that are holding Bitcoin as their treasuries. What we don't cover that much are companies outside of Japan and America who are also starting to keep Bitcoin as part of their treasury. Now, the H100 group. secures 21 million in Swedish crowns, financed by Adam Back to buy Bitcoin. Now, this isn't actually an awful lot of money. I think it's only about, what is it? Would it be conversion? $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, something like that. It's not an awful lot of money, but that's irrelevant because that is 20, 30, 40, 50 Bitcoin less on exchanges. And this is a game, is it called Buckaroo? Where you just load the donkey with satchels and picks or whatever, and then eventually Buckaroo kicks it all off. That's what this is. So the Australian ETF, which is only really stacking a couple of Bitcoin a week, it's not about that individual ETF. It's the combined suction power of all of these treasuries, the ETFs, Saylor, Metaplanet, the private funds. They're all draining the Bitcoin supply. And you and I, hopefully, are also draining that supply in our own little way. So be careful. Now, this is something which... Monkey Muscle. Welcome, Simon, from Monkey Muscle. Good morning, Bullish Bull. Danny's in chat, by the way. Danny was the winner of the Monkey Muscle NFT. The funny story is that Danny and Mary wins all of our competitions, wipes the floor with everybody all the time. And Kishan and Tariq and Danny, they all in the competition to start before Mary got home. Now, Danny was supposed to be cleaning the house on Saturday, and Danny didn't clean the house on Saturday. Danny watched our stream and won your Monkey Muscle NFT. I personally would prefer a untidy house and a Monkey Muscle NFT than a tidy house and no Monkey Muscle NFT, but that's just me. And the poker, again, we talked about the poker on Chronos Pulse last night. There was 128 people last week. Let me know in chat how many people turned up this week. Now then, I made a video about this, which I'm going to show you. And the reason I'm going to show you this video is I want you all to watch it. And I'm not doing that for clicks. I'm not doing that for views and impressions. I'm doing it because this video contains important information. And a lot of you out there, not saying all of you, a lot of you out there are not understanding what is about to happen. Now, I made this video somewhere in the last few weeks. Paris kidnap. There we go. Okay. Now, I made this video when? Let's have a look. 11 days ago. 11 days ago, I made this video. Now, I'm not going to play the video because that is not what we're here for. I just want to show you the video when my PC comes back to life. Okay, there we go. We're back now. Right, skip. Okay, now, I'm going to pause it there with my beautiful face. Now you've got two of me. I don't know how you're going to contain yourselves. I made a video about the Paris kidnap that happened 2 weeks ago. And in this video, I highlight all the different things that you need to do to avoid this stuff happening to you. So keep your chat offline, scrub your online data, secure your data, 2FA codes, educate your family. Okay? I made that video not for clicks, but for you, because this stuff is happening more and more. A tourist, an Italian tourist, was kidnapped, locked up in New York City, and basically tortured to get their crypto funds off them. Now, the guy that kidnapped them was worth $100 million, and they kidnapped somebody worth $30 million to steal their Bitcoin. Now, don't think for 1 minute having $50,000 in crypto, $100,000 in crypto, is going to keep you from this type of stuff, because there are always criminals out there. Okay? Now, again, what I'm not saying is, I'm not saying that you shouldn't follow crypto people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch crypto videos. What I'm saying is you don't go online and put a picture of your crypto portfolio online. If your family, here's an example. I'm going to use Danny, okay? I'm going to use Danny, a fictitious Danny, not the Danny in chat. Danny's uncle knows that Danny's in crypto. Now, Danny might have $5,000 worth of crypto. He might not actually have that much crypto. We don't know, but that's not the point. Danny's uncle then tells somebody in the pub, and then somebody else in the pub overhears Danny's uncle talking about Danny. And all he hears is Danny's got crypto. And that's dangerous because that person may very well have nefarious friends and pay this fictitious version of Danny a visit. And then Danny says, I've only got $5,000. And the guy won't believe you because everybody sees crypto. Crypto is seen as two things, a scam or you're a millionaire. They're the only two things. This person was clearly targeted because they had $30 million of crypto. I am not saying that you should not be in crypto or talk about crypto online, but you should take safety precautions with your family. Tell your family to not tell anybody that you're in crypto is an easy thing to do. Securing your Binance account is an easy thing to do. Doing those things keep you safe. Even maybe not using your real name online. So in Danny's example, maybe Danny calls himself Monkey Muscle Danny, or Mary calls herself Monkey Muscle Mary. Just a few small tweaks will go a long way to keeping you safe. And again, these things are going to happen every week. The more Bitcoin is worth, the more those types of things are going to happen because it's worthwhile kidnapping Harry. It's worthwhile kidnapping Harry if he's got a Bitcoin. That Bitcoin was $15,000 a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's now worth $110,000. So it's worth kidnapping Harry for his Bitcoin. And a lot of people go onto forums and they'll say, oh, I don't have a lot of crypto. I've only got 2 or 3 Bitcoin. I've only got 50 or 100 Ethereum. I've only got 10,000 XRP. And that will be a Facebook post from 6 years ago when it wasn't worth anything, and they'll think nothing of it. And then criminals will scour Facebook to see these types of things and then go after them. It's very dangerous, and you might not think it applies to you, but all somebody has to say is Harry's in crypto, and the wrong person overhears it, and that's it. So just make sure you don't tell your friends, or if you do tell your friends you've left, or you've sold it, you've paid off your mortgage, you've paid for school fees, whatever it might be. You've lost it in a boating accident is the main one. Be careful. Billionaire, Tim Draper says Bitcoin is going to infinity. Now this tops them all. This tops Rich Dad Poor Dad. It tops Michael Saylor. It tops Eric Trump. This is, you're not going to get any more bullish than this. Bitcoin is going to infinity. Okay? Infinity. I don't know what number that is. Maybe Buzz Lightyear knows. Tim and Buzz Lightyear clearly know what infinity is because I don't. Is it 10 million? Is it 100 million? Is it a billion? At some point, Bitcoin has to stop going up in value and has to start tracking the money supply because Bitcoin can't be worth more than the entire money supply. So going to infinity is technically impossible. But the one thing to bear in mind is these types of announcements are just stupid. The same with Rich Dad Poor Dad. They're filling your head with aspirational targets that are never going to happen in the time frame they say they're going to happen. Rich Dad Poor Dad said we'd be at $250,000 last August. We're nowhere near it. He said $100,000. We were nowhere near it. I think he's predicted 500,000 this year. We're going to get nowhere near it. So why listen to these people? If I kept giving you the wrong scores for football matches, if I told you every week as a football pundit that Man United were going to win 5-0 every week, would you listen to me? Or would you say, he's full of crap. He's the worst pundit. And he is Mark Lawrenson. He's that bad. Of course you would. So why are you listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad, who's been wrong for 2 years? He's been wrong for 2 years. I said we'd be at all-time highs in April. I was wrong by 3 weeks, and I feel bad for being wrong by 3 weeks. He's been wrong for 2 years. Right then. Yeah, we're all going to go. Actually, it's not Danny I'm going to go and get Tariq. Tariq's got a big bag of Litecoin. I think that's going to be worth a fortune. Right then, before we begin, nothing is scheduled for today because, of course, it is a bank holiday. Memorial Day in America, Tuesday. Not really a lot happening on Tuesday. Wednesday, the minutes of the FOMC meeting from May. Jobless claims come out on Thursday. Home sales come out on Thursday. Thursday could be an important day. Friday, core, PCE. Friday's the day. Friday's the day we break all-time highs or we correct below 100,000. That's what you're getting. That's what you're getting today. That's what you're getting. We're going to be at 98,000 or 114,000 on Friday. That's my prediction. Why? Because this probably dictates where and when the rate cuts are going to happen. And don't think we're not going to go back below 100,000 at any point. I think we are. I don't know when. But if this comes in really good or it's not as bad as people expect, then we could have a little rally to the upside. But the markets are a little bit overheated at the minute. But that does tend to happen in the bull market. 2021, we had bearish divergences all over the place, and we still went up. When we do break and we start to go up, there's bearish divergences everywhere. There's bears everywhere, but they fall out of the trees, and we just keep going through the trees. Right then, this is the US dollar index. And again, ignore the majority of my lines. What we care about is the number in the bottom right-hand corner, which I hope you can see, comes in at 99. Now, I've drawn my line, my little pink Bob Ross line, telling you what I thought was going to happen. And you will see a divergence where we came down. And this is all to do with Trump's tariffs, I believe. We tanked like this on the tariffs. The tariff war ended and we started to recover. And I said we'd get back into this channel. And what did we do? Trump hadn't had enough of the tariff war. So this is coming down again. I don't think below 100 is necessarily brilliant for Bitcoin, but I also don't think it's going to go to 110, and I don't think it's going to go to 90 or 80. I think, again, as my drawing predicted, we would get back into this channel. I'm going to stick with my prediction, and maybe we do this. But this is likely to happen in July and June as these trade deals get signed with China. At the end of the day, nobody cares about the American trade deal with Cambodia. Nobody cares about the American deal with Iceland. Okay? People care about the trade deals with Europe, with China, in some respects, Canada, in some respects, Mexico. But China is certainly number one. India, the deal is already done. So the majority of the large economies in the world, China, India, Europe as a bloc, the UK is already done pretty much. Canada and Mexico, it's pretty much done. And again, when Trump says things, he doesn't mean literally. That's what people on the left who like to be triggered by absolutely everything fail to comprehend with him. Read his book and you'll understand. I think we'll recover. We'll go back to 102, 103, something like that. It's going to happen. Don't be over scared by these trade wars. It's a negotiation that he carries out in public. I think in our OG Telegram group, I think I pasted the 5 or 6 tenets of The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. And one of them is to publicly carry out your negotiations, which is exactly what he's doing. Now then, Bitcoin dominance. There was a song, wasn't there, in the 80s or the 90s called Runaway Train? And I think it's ridiculously apt for this. Where do we stop? I've got a line on there, which is coming in at 65.5%. We're at 64.25%. I have been wrong on the Bitcoin dominance chart every single time. I said we'd get to 66. I said we'd get to 65. I said we'd get to 64. I actually said we'd top out at 64. And I don't think we're going to top out at 64. I think we're going to keep going higher. And again, Bitcoin dominance needs to do this for alt season to begin. So for people calling for $500 Solana, people calling for $4,000 Ethereum, none of it's going to happen if Bitcoin dominance keeps going up. Nothing's going to change. We can want Man United to do the treble next season, but if they've still got Luke Shaw in defence, they're not going to win anything. You can wish all you want, but until the charts tell you otherwise, it's not going to change. We're not going anywhere. We're going up. 64%. People said we'd break down in January. I thought we might break down in January or February. We haven't broken down. We're still going. The men in suits have broken our crypto, and they are solely responsible for all of this damage being done to our crypto by having the nerve to buy our Bitcoin. Now then, my Bob Ross line is looking fairly decent. We did break below this here, but since then we've gone back above the bull market support band. We are heading back towards this level here. This is total, by the way. 3.63 is where we need to break, which is about 7% from where we are now. 7% for the total market cap to go to all-time highs. It's not a lot. It's a Friday PCI, CPI data number away. That's where I think we could go. Now, if we do break that, there's loads of other targets we've got to get to up here. Certainly 4 trillion would be next. What's that, 15% away? It's all doable, all absolutely doable. And the last chart we'll look at, because we don't want to spend the entire show looking at charts, is this one. Where are we? Mary will beat me dead in the quiz. She will when she blindfolds you before the quiz starts. That's always possible. Danny's a dead man. Absolutely. Danny is going to be in trouble. Go away. Okay, now, this is the last one. There's 2 of these, by the way, but I'm only going to show you one because it's not that important. This is the Bitcoin exchange reserves. Now, I didn't bring this up last week or the week before, but there's a very important line there. That is November last year, okay? November last year was when Trump won the election. And you will see, and I can't draw on this chart, you will see we're going along this smooth level of reserves on exchanges. Trump wins the election, and there are, let's call it 3 million on exchanges. And if we go all the way down here, there's 2.5 million on exchanges. So since Trump won the election, 500,000 Bitcoin have disappeared from exchanges. That is a 1/6 of all the Bitcoin. Now, it's going into a downward spiral, and the price is clearly going up to match that. What's important to understand is, at some point, we're going to break 2 million. At some point, we might even break 1.5 million. At which point of this downward trend does the panic set in? Have you got enough Bitcoin? If I said to you Bitcoin was going to $250,000, do you own enough of it today for that $250,000 Bitcoin to make an impact on your life? Now, the answer should be yes. Or the answer is, shut up, I'm stacking Bitcoin for the next 10 years, I don't care, which is also a sufficient answer. But we've gone from 3 million to 2.5 million. Now, if we go back to this peak here, that was 4 million. That was 4 million 2.5 years ago. So we've gone from 4 million to 2.5 million in 2.5 years. So in 2.5 years' time, which puts us at what, 2028, start of 2028, how many Bitcoin are going to be on exchanges? At which point does the price get to the point where Bitcoin starts to flow back to exchanges? That's the key, isn't it? It's never going to go to zero. Bitcoin is always going to be sold because people will always have a price to sell it. Is it 250,000? Is it 500,000? Is it $1 million? At which point does the money or the Bitcoin flow back onto exchanges to be sold? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. And I don't have an answer for that. I do not have an answer. So, Sky, do you mean Bitcoin is going to have another correction in June or July? I made a video. I think it was for OGs. And I think there's going to be 2 more corrections to the downside between now and all-time highs. All-time highs, November, December, maybe. I think there's going to be 2 corrections. I think there's going to be one soon. Soon being, and I'm always wrong on timing, soon being the next month and a bit. So maybe between now and the end of June, I think there'll be a correction. Not a massive one, and we're not going to $70,000, but we might go to 95, 90, something like that. That's one. And then I think we might have one after the summer. Because if you go back and look at the patterns, there are corrections in the charts that are kind of like, they happen at the start of the summer and it happens at the end of the summer. And then by October, September, October, we start to really, really move up. And then November, in the last 2 years, we've had a good period. But again, I don't know. I think there might be 2 more corrections left. I think we've had 4. And I think you have 6 to 7 in every cycle. So if we've had 4, I think we've got 2 more left. And one could happen if if inflation comes in really hot on Friday, there's no reason for it not to be a trigger to bring us down. And everyone is then going to call 111,000 as the top, 112,000 as the top, because that's what happens. People just call the tops. Now, why Bitcoin skepticism persists even as mainstream adoption grows, says Adam Back. And again, my headlines are legendary. Back to black. Can't get better than that. Bitcoin has been embraced by BlackRock and the US government, but skeptics remain. Early Bitcoiner Adam Back shares his take on why. There he is, man himself. Never trust a man with glasses and facial hair. That's what I always say to you. Wall Street titans like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett have criticised the asset. Warren Buffett criticised gold. Doesn't mean it's not the #1 asset in the world. Early Bitcoiner Adam Back says that even the techies and programmers find the cryptocurrency hard to understand. Back pointed to skepticism around Bitcoin's digital nature and grassroots origins. With everyone from Wall Street giants to BlackRock getting in, why is it still so hard for some people to understand and accept? Let's see what he says, and I'll tell you what I think. Calling continued skepticism confusing, Back used the example of cypherpunks back in the day who seemed uninterested in Bitcoin. He thought it was crazy that some of them didn't get on board. You understood all about the code, peer-to-peer networks, privacy, public key cryptography, and secure sockets layers, he added. Like you have a huge leg up in the understanding and you're still not interested in what gives. Some are skeptical about something that's not physical and yet has scarcity, adding that the coin is still backed by physical resources like energy and equipment. Bitcoin is a digital payment system and virtual currency, and only 21 will ever be minted. Anything else in here? How do you know it's going to stop at 21 million? Oh, that was Jamie Dimon. Again, Diamond is he's going to be. You know the guy that said this on Friday. The guy that said that 64K is the most memory a computer will ever need. That's Jamie Dimon with Bitcoin. He's going to die on this hill, and he will die on this hill. The same that Peter Schiff has been saying that Bitcoin is dead since 10,000. They're going to die on this hill. For people who the establishment order is working, they may never understand the potential benefits of Bitcoin. If they've got a high-paying job, they're going up the career ladder, they can afford the mortgages, they don't feel it. Absolutely. I think what I would add is that if you're a gamer, if you play Fortnite, Warcraft, CSGO, you will understand scarcity of items. So you will have, I think there was a few examples in games where certain skins were worth $17,000. And you could buy a skin for your gun in CSGO that was worth $17,000. Why was it worth $17,000? Because there was only 5 of them. That was it. So it commanded a high price. So if you're in gaming, you kind of get scarcity. There's 20 million Bitcoin that will exist because 1 million of them is Satoshi's wallet. They're never going to be seen again unless it gets hacked. Of that 20 million in circulation, the likelihood is 2 million are lost. That's 18. There's 2 million left to mine. That's 16. There are 16 million Bitcoin in the world of a population of 8 billion. Now, forget 7 billion of those people, for argument's sake, and you just look at 1 billion people. 20 or 16 million does not go into 1 billion. Nobody gets one each, okay? So there will only ever be a maximum of 16 million whole coiners. You take out what's owned by BlackRock, what's owned by MicroStrategy, Metaplanet. If you look at the fact that potentially there are only 2.5 million Bitcoin left to actually become a whole coiner, 2.5 million people need to buy 1 Bitcoin and then it's gone until the price appreciates, as I've just said. So it's not only scarce, it's got the biggest chain in the biggest networks, most secure network that mankind has ever built, protecting it. It's the alpha asset that has ever existed in the history of humanity. And that might sound like a very, very bold claim. Gold comes out of the ground, comes out of asteroids, comes off planets. Diamonds comes out of the ground, comes off asteroids, comes off planets. They are not finite. They are assets that can be found. Ghana, I think it's Ghana, has more gold in its land than exists on the planet today. So what happens if Ghana starts to produce 10 tons of gold a day? The price of gold will go down because the supply increases. That's why the finite supply of Bitcoin is so important for you to understand. Forget Solana, forget Ethereum, forget ADA, forget XRP, forget SUI. Bitcoin is the only asset in the top 30 or 40 that has a finite supply, the strong network demand and institutional demand, and people know about it. It's the only one. Nothing will ever take over Bitcoin, probably in my lifetime. Now then, traders accumulate $381 million worth of SOL. Is Solana preparing for a breakout? We've said this on here for the last couple of months. Solana and XRP are going to get their ETFs this year. 6 months before those ETFs happen, the likes of BlackRock will dollar cost average in through a trust. They did it with Bitcoin. They did it with Ethereum. They're going to do it with XRP and Solana. Irrespective of what happens in this blockchain right now, or in this Web3 universe right now, Solana and XRP are going to be bought in massive amounts by BlackRock, VanEck, ARK Invest. They're all going to go out and buy Solana because the day it goes live, it needs to have a supply of Solana. It doesn't go live with a TVL of $1 million. So they're going to go out and buy Solana and XRP between now and November, or now and October. So of course you're going to see whales accumulating these. And then that starts the bullish momentum, and away we go with Solana and XRP. I think timely update will be of good help. Thanks for the heads up. Experience can't be bought with money. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. You can't buy experience. You just got to live through it. And I'm going to get caught out the same way as you all are. I'm going to get caught out this bull run, and I'm not going to get the top. But this time I'm going to dollar cost average out, which I didn't do in 2021 and I didn't do in 2017. So I got in 2016. So I'm 9 years in, and I messed up in 2017 and I messed up in 2021. I'm not going to do the same thing in 2025. But I am probably not going to sell my Bitcoin either. I think I made that decision February, March time, and I think we talked about it on here as well. Now, Solana, one of the big things that's going to push Solana more than XRP is when Ethereum gets the staking rewards permission from the SEC, which has been delayed, but it's going to happen. BlackRock are pushing for it. It's going to happen. I think BlackRock have asked for 1,000 ETFs and have been turned down 2 or 3 times. So when BlackRock asks for something, they normally get it. Now, the Ethereum staking rewards is going to pave the way for Solana. Not XRP, because XRP doesn't have staking rewards. It's going to pave the way for Solana. Solana is going to hit the ETF ground running, excluding what Grayscale will do to it, which Grayscale will dump. They dumped Ethereum, they dumped Bitcoin, they're going to dump Solana, it's going to suppress the price, and we're going to hate them for it. And you should hate them for it. But Solana is going to offer about a 5 or 6% staking reward. Now, if you're in America, you're getting 4 or 5% on your treasuries, gilts, bonds now. If you're suddenly offered Bitcoin, which is the big one, Ethereum offering 2.5% or 3%, and Solana offering 5%, you're going to go for them. So I think Solana is going to do really well with the ETFs. But I do think as well that Solana just has so much potential because of the volume of people using it. It's all well and good calling it out because of its faults, but look at where it's got to. It's got 2 or 3 versions of a mobile phone, which have done okay. They've sold out, not big numbers. They've got DeFi, which is huge now. We've got Jupiter Lend coming online. You've got Camino. You've got Meteora, Radium, Orca. You've got Ondo moving over. You've got DeBridge. Everything you need is on Solana. Solana is the retail blockchain of choice. And Sui is going to have to go hell for leather to get anywhere near it, to even lay a glove on it. So I'm never going to bet against Solana, ever. It's just got too many people using it. Right, Cardano offers free integration of Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. Cardano, for whatever reason, is crap when it comes to getting stablecoins. It's terrible. It's holding Cardano back. For me, it's its biggest Achilles heel. It doesn't have enough stablecoins. Even Charles was talking about bringing out an algorithmic stablecoin on Cardano to fix the problem. So offering Ripple a free integration, what's Ripple going to get out of it? 100 million? 200 million? Charles has announced that Cardano is ready to integrate Ripple's new stablecoin onto its blockchain completely free of charge, a move aimed at strengthening collaboration between the two. In a recent statement, he confirmed that talks are underway. Talks have been underway between Cardano and Tether and Circle and others for ages, and I don't know why it takes them so long. A stablecoin like Ripple USD is crucial for building out XRP's DeFi ambitions, and Cardano is eager to support this vision. We said, look, we're here to help. We'd like to find a path to get real USD on Cardano. Now, again, Cardano's got a lot of things that Ripple can use. It's got its smart contracts. It can have usage because, believe you me, I think Cardano is just not very friendly to use. DeFi-wise, it's not very easy to use. It's got a great community. The people are great. The memes are great. It's just, it needs a bit of an impetus. I think partnering with XRP is not a bad idea. We said we'll handle the integration for free because we like XRP. What you should have said was, we said we'd help the integration for free because we don't have any stablecoins. That's what you should have said. Even as talks continue, Cardano is exploring adding stablecoin partnerships to strengthen its offerings. Again, Cardano, it really needs to sort itself out. That's its biggest problem for me, is stablecoins. And even Solana had stablecoin problems 3 years ago. There wasn't really that much stablecoin availability. It was always on Ethereum. Ethereum has always had more than everybody else, but don't discount on changes, the impetus that could come behind Cardano. Cardano becomes the Bitcoin DeFi layer of blockchain of choice. Cardano gets stable coins. Cardano integrates into XRP. Cardano partners with Solana. Suddenly Cardano is this middleman. Fantastic. Then it will absolutely succeed. Crypto leaders are wrong about tokenized property. Crypto leaders underestimate the true potential of real estate tokenization. Tokenizing property isn't about liquidity. It's about democratizing access, reducing inefficiencies, and building a new era of wealth creation. Is that what Darren has to say? Or is that somebody that Darren is quoting? He is quoting somebody. Michael Sonnenschein, we've covered him before. He made the headlines by dismissing real estate as a suboptimal asset class for tokenization. This isn't the first time crypto leaders have underestimated it. While I respect Sonnenschein's contributions to digital asset adoption, his assessment misses fundamental points about real estate tokenization transformative potential. Anybody who dismisses an entire industry with so much value, I think deserves to be called out. I do not believe for 1 minute that real estate is an asset class that should be ignored. I think the issue is more to do with, if you tokenize an asset, that asset has to be secured against the tokens. So if we're talking about a painting and the painting burns, where does the money go that's in the tokens? Because that still exists in some way, shape or form. So there's lots of things to do with mobile assets, but buildings, again, earthquakes. What happens if there's an earthquake? Does the building fall down? I don't think the problem is with the. I don't think the problem is the buildings falling down, because you've got REITs. Real estate investment trusts have existed for a long time. They already exist. You could tokenize them. So I don't think that's the problem. I think it's more to do with maybe missing the point of why you should tokenize an asset that's worth $1 billion, like a building or a hotel. Maybe he just doesn't care. Good systems are being replaced, but good systems aren't great systems either. Today is Monday. It is a bank holiday. The stock exchanges in the UK and America are closed. Why? You can go onto Binance right now and buy Bitcoin. Why can't you go on to NASDAQ and buy Apple stock? Why can't you buy Google stock? Because it's closed. Why is it closed? You can listen to music 24/7, watch movies 24/7, read books 24/7, trade crypto 24/7. The only thing you can't do 24/7 in this ecosystem is trade stocks, because somebody 120 years ago decided that they were going to work 8:30 till 4:30. That has to go. So I totally agree that I think real estate is going to be a massive industry, but not just real estate. The entire real world assets are a huge industry. And I think the sooner people get on board with it happening, the better. And another example is, Bitcoin might not very well be the most valuable asset in the world at some point. Maybe there is a real world asset token, maybe there's a real world asset industry which can outperform Bitcoin. But I don't think that's going to happen for a very long time. And it might never happen, but it's got a good chance. It's got a better chance than, say, Solana or XRP or Ethereum overtaking Bitcoin for sure. But maybe there is in the future. Now then, we're going to move on a little bit. Let me just check chat, not checked chat for a while. Syrup is up in the moon. Can we see $2 syrup before the end of the bull run? What's in store for Kronos? $1. I think Crow is going to go to about 60 cents. And the reason is, very simply, for Crow to go over $1, it needs its ETF. And it needs an ETF that's bundled in with all of the other ETFs. So it needs to be bundled in with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I've talked about ETFs and funds of ETFs, where BlackRock will have an exchange ETF. It'll have a layer 1 ETF. It'll have an RWA ETF. And that will be bringing individual ETFs together like they do fund of funds that exist. I can't see the institutional demand for Crow. It's not there. So if it's not there for institutional demand, it means retail need to buy it. There's no retail at the minute. I don't think it's going to go above 60 cents as it stands. However, if for some miracle we get a Crow ETF in America, the price will go up. But it's only going to go up to 20 or 30 cents before the ETF goes live. It's only going to 2 or 3x. So that's the problem, is where's the money going to come from? We've minted 70 billion tokens, and I know they're not in circulation. I know they're not going to be in circulation. I know it was done for collateral. but we've still got 30 billion tokens. To get Crow to $1 means we did a 30 or $28 billion market cap. And we've got a $2.8 billion market cap. And we're running out of time. We've got 6 months left of this bull run. Don't see it. But 60 cents is about a 5 or a 6x from where we are now. I think that's entirely possible. Can syrup go to $2? I think syrup's price is tied to its TVL. So we've just passed 2 billion and we're at 45 cents. When we first started covering them, they were less than a billion and it was at 12 cents. So it's done a 4x and it's 3x its TVL. So let's just say it's 1 for 1. For us to go to $2, we need to 5x the TVL. So we would need to be at 10 billion. A lot of the assets are in Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up in value, the TVL goes up in value. I think certainly we'd be looking at a $5 or $6 billion TVL. So we would be looking at a $1 to $2 syrup by the end of the bull run, because you've got to add in the euphoria as well. So certainly Solo Sky, I can see it going to $2. In fact, my videos that I've made about syrup, my price target is $1 to $2. And that was a while ago. That's back when we were at 12 cents. We're now at 45 cents. So maybe I revisit that. But I think Crow, 60 cents, certainly. But it's a 6x. I don't know. We're not going to see too many 50x's between now and the end of the year, I don't think. Right, Axiom Exchange hits 100 million in revenue just 4 months after launch. Again, I don't really cover coins outside of my sphere of understanding, which I will try and add in a little bit more to it. So Y Combinator-backed trading platform Axiom has generated 100 million in fees 4 months after its launch. What I like about this story is not the fact, I don't even know who they are. It's the fact that it was co-founded by 2 college grads and allows users to trade tokens on Solana and perpetuals on Hyperliquid in a single interface while earning yield from idle funds. A really cool little concept. Now, $100 million in fees is not chump change. The team has no current plans to launch a native token. Current plans and future plans are 2 different things. A recently launched trading platform co-founded by this. Now, again, this is not promoting another platform against Binance before you say anything. This is just talking about the fact it's a decentralized success story, or a DEX. Axiom is a web-based trading platform that allows users to swap these tokens, open future positions, and track data from the blockchain or from X. This fee amount, 100 million, very decent. Mere months ago, co-founded by two 22-year-old college grads, Henry Zhang, also known as Mist, and Preston Ellis, what a name, also known as Cal. The graduates from San Diego, prior experience of TikTok and DoorDash before starting the platform. It was incubated, which a lot of these things need to do. Fees are not bad, 0.75, 0.25. The platform has given back 43% of its fees as rewards. Again, it's a success story. Let's have some success stories that don't involve scams, don't involve the usual suspects. 100 million in revenue. If they reinvest the 50 million that they've got left over wisely, they'll be able to expand the team, offer more products. Great. Happy days. Very happy for them. Very, very happy for them. Now, finally, if you'd have asked me, I would have told you this. There he is. Okay, there's the man of the minute. That is our friend, Donald. What do you think would happen to the price of Trump once the meeting with Trump is over? Do you think it will A, go up, or B, go down? It will, of course, go down, because everybody sold the tokens once they'd met with Trump. That was a PR event. All the people, there was ex-basketball players, there was Justin Sun was there, all the wide and wonderful people. And then they complained that they didn't really get to spend a lot of time with Donald Trump. He's the president of America. You're holding a meme coin. What do you want him to do? Go and shake your hand? He turned up. He said he'd make America great again. He said he loves Bitcoin. He goes, you've met him. You've had some food for free, may I add, and you hold a meme coin. let reality sink in for a minute. You hold a trash coin, you don't know, maybe you bought it pre-sale, and then you rock up, you have your picture taken. The PR of that event alone was worth the entrance money, and Trump showing his face was worth the entrance money. Don't believe for 1 minute you were getting anything else out of it other than that. What coin do you think has the most potential to make the biggest gains before the bear market? What I would say about any coin on Cronos, I'll pick Cronos for example, is you've got two options. You wait for Crow to go up. If Crow goes to 60 cents, you will see a flood of money going onto the Cronos chain. It will just happen. That's why memes pump. That's why alts pump. If you're holding Solana and your Solana goes to $1,000, you might sell out and take 80% profits, and 20% of that money you'll put into smaller alts. Those alts will pump. That brings on the alt season. With Cronos, if I've got $10,000 and that goes to $60,000, I might take $40,000 off the table, put it in the bank, and then $20,000 I will go and buy other projects on Cronos. Maybe I'll go and buy Moon. Maybe I'll go and buy Merry or Gains, or maybe I'll go and buy Core, and I'll buy some of those coins. If enough people do that, those coins go up in value. Retail come along, they'll see Core and Gains and Merry, and they'll go, they're pumping, I'm going to go and buy them. And then you take your 10x profit by selling to retail. The people that lose every bull run are the retail that turn up, and they will buy your $250,000 Bitcoin. They will buy your $5,000 Ethereum. They'll buy your 60-cent Crow. They'll buy your $150 million market cap Moon, Merry, Gains, all of that. They're the people that you need to target when we are in max euphoria. And that would be an incredible strategy. Aim for retail on the Cronos chain towards the end of the bull run and do some kind of massive campaign, and Moon and Merry and Core and Gains, they will all rip, and you will have a window of about 4 to 8 weeks to sell and get your money and get out. If you hold it, you're going to be holding the Core and the Moon at the price it is today or a little bit higher. But the 10x gain will have gone, because that's what retail's there for. They're the people that come along and buy what's left. So that would be my advice. Anyway, Trump's down 15%. We are past 12 o'clock. Again, what will happen with this is going to go down and down and down. And then Trump is going to announce another meal for another 6 months' time. So maybe another Christmas meal. And then Trump will probably go back to $5 or $10 or whatever it is now. It will go up to $5 or $10. People will then buy it. And so what's it at? Yeah, it's at $12.50. And it did go up as far as $15. I did say if there was one meme coin from that show at the start of the year where we had Melania and Trump and everything else, the one coin that I think will have legs, it's Trump, because he's the president of America for the next 3.5 years, 4 years. He's the winner, okay, out of this. But I do think, let's say Trump goes to $3 or $4 and you buy Trump at $3 or $4 and he announces a meal or an NFT giveaway or something, that's going to go back to $10, $15, $20. And then you've made your money. But we've been talking about Trump coin since before the election, when we talked about MAGA coin. We talked about Trump coin back then as well. Anyway, let me very quickly do my outro, because I don't want to keep you too long. It's bank holiday. You all don't need to be, I don't know, what time is it now? Midday. You should be drunk in a beer garden right now. And maybe you are drunk in a beer garden. Maybe Simon, Solo Sky, Cyberpunk Danny, maybe they're all drunk in beer gardens right now. I don't know. But enjoy your bank holiday weekend. I am back tomorrow, as always. I've got a video going up today called Newsletter Scams. I'm going to talk about it for 1 minute and then I'm going to go. We've been approached, I think 3 or 4 times in the last month to do a newsletter. Now, that sounds really innocent. Newsletter. Send out all of Mike's words of wisdom. No, it's not. It's about getting you to buy a crypto course for $1,000 or $500. And they're all scams, and they're nothing to do with the people that are promoting them. So I'm putting that video up now. I'm going to do the title and the description of it. Also, I have got 2 altcoin picks, and I'm umming and ahhing about telling you what they are because they are really micro cap, and I don't want to be accused of shilling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them both into the Telegram group. I'm not going to put them on here. I'm going to put them in the Telegram group, and it's totally up to you. I've bought $150 of one and about $25 of the other. That's it, because they are micro caps, but the people behind them can move the price. So again, I'm not going to put that on here because I don't want to be accused of being in some cabal or anything like that. But what I will do is wish you a lovely bank holiday weekend. Hopefully my stubble grows back, because I look like a massive thumb without stubble. So thank you to coming to the chat, Simon, and everybody else. I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great bank holiday weekend, and I will tell you about Mew Night tomorrow. Take care.